going, everybody? JT here on behalf of the Ethereum community and the daily general discussion, hanging out with you on the Discord, the EV Mavericks Discord. Thank you so much to the EV Mavericks for hosting this day, episode 143. I call it JT, the Lonely Bowl episode. No co-hosts and no guests. Just straight up Doots and a good time. And we got quite a few people joining in on Discord. We're airing this 2 hours earlier than usual. Daddy's got things to do today. And I'll be painting the house next week. So I don't know if we're even going to have a show on next Friday. But don't count me out yet. All right, we'll make the call as we get closer. And super happy that everybody could join us on X, on Twitch, on YouTube. If you want to follow along, you can head to dailydoots.com, and we're going to go through these daily doots today. All of the daily doots are curated by Tricky Troll. Our esteemed professor of doots has been doing it for, over 1,300 days. You figure out the number of years that is. And thanks again to the A-Word for putting together this weekly list. I haven't read any of them, all right? I always like to save it for the show. If you want to read along, it's at dailydoots.com. And if you want to subscribe to us, you can go to dailydoots.com/podcast, and you can see all of our different areas. We're on Amazon Music, Spotify, iTunes, whatever. All right. Well, let's get right into this. What do you say? Here we go. Our top 10 dooders for the week. I'm going to refresh a page just to make sure. Ethical Trade and the A-Word tied at 119. Hani Abu is at 135. Crypto Wow Currency at 136. JS Tears at 148. Tricky Troll at 175. Benito 2030 at 180. Super Fizz at 243. LogrisTheBard, who is currently on vacation, at 258. Harog is at the top of the list. He's climbing up. I think he got triple duded last week. He is at 324. So hats off to all of our people that are on that rich list. We have a total of 1,306 duders that have been on the daily thread at least one time at the top of the page. So thanks again to Tricky Troll and the A-Word for helping us out. I do all the grading for these. As far as giving everybody their points, but Tricky Troll and the A-Word do all the heavy lifting day to day. All right. Well, here we go. We're going to get right into our weekly roundups. And let's see. That's the wrong year. This is the right year. March 13th, 2026. Friday the 13th, funny enough. Yeah. All right. Well, our morning roundup, either way, Mini Miner 1, user Mini Miner 1 chimes in Ethereum. I don't recognize that name. Are they even on the Doots list? I got to open them up here. Oh, there's Duder number 2. Frank the Tank, an old familiar name, at 2,112 on the price. And Alexis Kef at 0.295. Alexis grabbed a few Doots this last week. I think he's about to cross the century mark, if I'm not mistaken. Alexis Kef is sitting at 95 Doots this week. He's on our weekly quite often, one of our best contributors on the Reddits. Our weekly haiku, courtesy of JS Tears, Memory Bootstrap. We already missed this app. Farewell to PoApp. Oh my gosh, that's some news. If you haven't heard, PoApp is trimming down the business, so to speak. I think they're pivoting towards using the technology in maybe a different way. But like existing users, you'll still be able to see your PoApps. Maybe Ben Broad, you could chime in on the Doots podcast chat and see if that's true or not, or anybody in the audience. Matter of fact, if you do add some comments, I think it'll work on Twitch and X and YouTube. If you comment down below, it'll show up here on the stream. But yeah, pour one out to PoApp. What a great team. I know the founder, one of the founders, and I also know one of the employees that got let go. And it's hard to see a big one like that fall. We've had so much fun with PoApp over the years. It goes without saying. I think it's truly one of the biggest OG cornerstone projects to take a different path. So pour one out for them. Love you guys at PoApp. I'm still hanging on to mine, damn it. So I love it. All right, Ethereal News, if you ever want to check them out, it's AB Kothup as our fellow moderator. Headlines this week for Ethereal News, weekly number 15. The U.S. Department of Justice seeks a Roman Storm retrial. BlackRock staked ETH ETF live, and the EF bug bounty is at a $1 million max payout. You can get all those stories and more at ethereal.news. What a legend. Thank you, AB Kotha, for putting this together. I do want to open this up about the Roman storm. Let's see if we can find the Roman storm thing here, because I want to see what yeah, here it is. Okay, looking for the story here. Let's keep searching down the page here. Stand by. There it is. All right, this is under the tab of regulation. According to X today, the SDNY prosecutors, New York prosecutors, let's see, filed a letter to Judge Faya requesting a retrial date. They want to go again in October. The prosecutors want to retry Roman on 2 counts the jury couldn't unanimously decide on. A jury of 12 Americans heard 4 weeks of evidence and deadlock. No verdict on money laundering and no verdict on sanctions violation. The government's response? Trying again to make writing code a crime. Well, geez, this is not good. Roman says, I have a daughter. I have a life in Seattle. I will never stop fighting for freedom. But I need to be honest with you. 4 weeks of trial, a hung jury, and now they want to do it all over again in October. I have basically exhausted my legal defense funds, and I'm staring down another full federal trial. Every dollar raised goes directly to keeping this fight alive. Attorneys, experts, the full defense apparatus it takes to stand up to the SDNY prosecutor. This isn't abstract. If I can't fund a defense, they win by default. If you care about financial privacy, if you write code and believe that code is speech, this is the moment. Well, I did not see that headline, and that is certainly concerning. Good luck to Roman. You know, all of these grifters out there that love all this coding and taking money out of the ecosystem, damn it, the least you could do is help support that cause right there. That's abhorrent. It's such an atrocity they can retrial for a hung jury. I mean, they had all this time, like you said, 4 weeks. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. Maybe Legal Eagle with his YouTube following could do a story on Roman, but I don't know if he would fall on Roman's side. Who knows? Anyway, here we go. Ship post of the week, because we always like to save the best for first. This is by Crypto Currency on our top 10 rich list. My new trading philosophy is that whatever makes sense, I do the opposite. If there's bad news, some whale already sold the news weeks ago, so it's bullish. If there's good news, some whale already bought the news week ago, so it's bearish. Wish me luck. That's pretty good. Counter trading yourself, right? Alexis Kef on the weekly gives us a concise summary of the straw map. Very good. Let's see here. Yesterday, I posted a comment about an article I found on X. The article's title is The Idiot's Guide to Ethereum's 2029 Straw Map. And it does a very good job of explaining in simple terms the recently published Ethereum roadmap. All right. Following up on that today, I bring you a summary of this guide that I also found on X, written by the head of research of Bitwise. Once again, I really appreciate these kinds of posts because they allow non-technical members of our community, as well as the air quote outsiders with a general interest in crypto developments, to get informed on the present and future path of Ethereum. The straw map outlines 5 goals: accelerating speed, finality, the time it takes for a transaction to become irreversible, secure, and permanently recorded goes from minutes to seconds via redesigned consensus. Increasing throughput. Transactions per second go from 30 to 10,000 via ZK proofs. 3. Scaling data. Enabling 10 million transactions per second on L2s via increased data capacity. And number 4, post-quantum resilience, implementing quantum-resistant cryptography. And finally, number 5, improving privacy. Adding privacy is a native feature. It proposes 7 upgrades, 1 every 6 months. All upgrades would be complete over the next 3 years, by mid-2029. The result, a faster, more secure, more scalable, privacy-enabled, censorship-resistant network. Of course, this is highly dependent on several factors, including mathematical and cryptographic breakthroughs. But the straw map notes that, quote, The current draft assumes human-first development and that, quote, AI-driven development and formal verification could significantly compress schedules. While the straw map is obviously ambitious, it's hard not to be bullish with this level of clarity and focus on accelerating upgrades and scaling, building Ethereum for a future where hundreds of trillions worth of financial assets move on-chain. Nice. User Inevitable Chain thinks about the risk of centralized stablecoin versus a CBDC. I've been thinking a lot about stablecoins lately, besides the obvious upside, global money, internet money. If stablecoins in fact end up being implemented at full scale, companies like Tether and Circle will have an enormous amount of power. For example, the ability to freeze someone's funds. I understand that this isn't entirely different from what banks already do in traditional finance, and I also understand that regulators will never allow a system where they can't intervene. People used to shout loudly about the dangers of CBDCs, but what is the practical difference between a central bank digital currency and a corporate or nation-backed stablecoin where funds can be controlled through smart contracts? Well, let's see. Hold on. I think it might have to do with, I don't know, the military. So if it's a corporate-backed stablecoin, at least you have like the counterparty would be customers and governments. But if it's a central bank digital currency, it's only the government and all of the military. So I can't ever. CBDC would be the worst of the worst. Is anybody in agreement with me on that? I mean, you got to be. I understand the idea that one company getting a monopoly is a thing, but we do have some regulatory guidance on, monopolies in America. I really don't think that they're going to allow single institutions like Tether or Circle to do it, and I don't want people to get lulled into complacency. It's like, well, it's inevitable. It's going to happen anyway, so it might as well be the government. No, that's what like communists would say, or whatever the buzzword is for the bad guys in terms of like monetary control. But shout out to Inevitable Unchained for being a duder number 10. It's thoughtful. Let's see. I want to look at some of these replies here. Nude LSA's Noodle Slot 3000. I don't know how to say your name. CBDC says they don't use smart contracts. Do we believe them? The next thing is what they don't say. It must have a two-tier system. State-to-state transactions, which are impossible to block. Think diplomat. And private-to-private transactions, which can be sanctioned and blocked if they like to, think arbitrary EU sanctions list, where it's pretty much impossible to get a court to unlock you, as it's by definition without evidence as to a court. The beauty is, technically speaking, they have to make two coins because otherwise you lose one ability, either the diplomat's abilities or the sanctions. Think of it like the old discussions the EU has with vaccines. The top tier, low scale ones for the politicians and the cheaper mass-produced bioreactor ones for all of us. With the same discussion, but at least public. For CBDC, it's not as public as people don't understand it. Well, okay. That's their opinion. Good. All right. I will leave that there. I don't want to start going down the rabbit hole of two-tiered vaccine systems. Whee! Okay, let's see if we've got any comments that are coming in on the chat. Nope. All right. So let's move on down. Cantalo Raps, user Cantalo, Kantalo, Cantalo. Hope I'm saying it right. Duder number 6 wraps up a day of activity on their Stupid Games D app. All right, it's another day and the title's changed hands 6 times. Here's a roundup of what's happened so far. The first leader was Anon, and then user Eli RS, the undefeated reigning champ from version 1, waltzed in and took his crown back. And it wasn't long before the mods on here saw my post, probably to verify if it was a scam or not. and it caught Tricky Troll in a FOMO frenzy. He figured out the game dynamics real quick and used it to take the #1 spot. User Eli RS wasn't going to just sit around, saw the same game dynamics, and took the lead back. Here's where you could call it luck or uncover talent, but user Lancer 2018 took the title in just 3 times. What is going on? I got to look at this game. A raw score so high that I've never seen it in the hundreds of tests I've run. I don't think that score will ever be beat. But he was nonchalant and chose not to play the game. FOMO dynamics, and Tricky came in for the win again. It wasn't easy, but he did it. And right now at this moment, user Eli RS is back at it, challenging for the score as hard as he can. His best score is only 75 points away, which is 0.75 seconds of game time. The margins are razor thin and the battle is on. Anyone else can challenge for the prize spots at over 0.06 ETH, around $120, or just watch the leaderboard. It's all on stupidgames.wtf. Each time a player plays, it feeds the game pot more and more. Well, guess what we're going to do? We're going to open this bad boy up, huh? Let's see. It says, play stupid games, win awesome prizes. Yo, DJ and smash arcade games, hodl the leaderboard, and win crypto. It's dumb. It's fun. Let's go. Score 10,000 plus in demo and get 4 free chips. I'm going to hit play now. I'm going to shut off ad blocker just in case that ends up being a problem. All right. And for the record, I am piss poor at video games because I'm 50. All right. Or whatever the meme is. Okay. Let's see. Tap the space bar or click to fly your rocket through crypto FUD. Don't crash. I'll do the DJ. I'm just going to hit it. And it says, okay, so space bar for click, boost up. Pro tip, tap fast or get wrecked from the... Oh, is this going to be like Flappy Bird, new phone, who dis, log in to play? I got to log in to play. All right, log in to play. Insta no wallet needed. I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to attach my wallet to this just yet. Chips join. Am I doing something? Let's go demo mode. All right, so, okay, it is. So I'm assuming the aliens are FUD. All right, so if you have some chips, you can get in on this. So I died. All right, now you can play with chips and all that. All right, so it's kind of like that Flappy Bird game, sort of. That's great, awesome. Was there another one? A shooting game, demo mode. Back to base. Anyway, stupidgames.wtf if you want to jump in on the fun. Shout out to Contalo for being a builder in the space. Looks like, there's a bit of a conversation going on in here. So, cool. All right, congrats. All right, user Harhog, our top duder on the leaderboard out of 1,306 players, announces a critical security update for Lighthouse consensus layer node operators, and user El Iter Ilote reminds anyone still running Lighthouse to switch to a minority client. All right, Harhog writes, Lighthouse just released a new client version 8.1.2. It's a high priority security update, which they recommend to be installed at ASAP. Anyone running Lighthouse should install it as soon as possible. They did not discuss any details, but will share more in the coming days. User El Iter Ilote responds. El Iter Ilote is a duder number 9. For those running Lighthouse, depending on your data source, Lighthouse is running on between 20 and 50% of validator setups. It is worthwhile to switch to a minority client. ETH Docker makes swapping clients in and out trivial. There you have it. User Nick Badland starts a discussion about the myriad of reasons why TradFi should adopt Ethereum. User Nick Badlands is a duder number 22. Something I've been thinking about and not my usual permabull post. I've worked in IT for banks in the top 10 globally for the past 25 years or so. Wow. I've worked in investment banking, credit cards, retail banking, and mortgages. I've given presentations and stuff to their capital market guys about Ethereum and blockchain at large. I was fully on board the train for getting these large financial players to adopt Ethereum for like nearly a decade now. Well, to me, it's been a no-brainer for years. They should adopt Ethereum as the rails for all the financial transactions they make. For investment banking, there is such a massive range of benefits, from helping these institutions save money and make things easier all the way to improving the life of everyone by improving transparency and maybe stopping a repeat of the 2008 crash. For retail, it makes so much more sense for reducing the crazy amount of complexity there is behind making a simple debit-credit transaction between two parties. Mortgages. Christ. If there was one area of banking that really needs to sort their shit out when it comes to adopting modern technology, this takes the cake. If you've ever bought a house, you know how painful this is. Where to start with how Ethereum could apply here? All the things I listed above are pretty much about saving money and making things simpler. All makes sense. I kind of forgot about the other thing they do. Those mother effers, they know how to make more money and make things more complex while doing so. While I still think it's great they're all adopting, we should be wary. Bitcoin has seen massive adoption by these institutions. We have ETFs and such coming out of our ears these days. The amount of paper Bitcoin has exploded as a result of this, while they make loads of money off the fees. IBIT is the most profitable ETF BlackRock have launched. I wonder if this is the reason the last bull market was relatively lame. Ethereum is being adopted as the rails of finance. There are so many banks tokenizing stuff, and it's pretty much all on Ethereum. This is still fantastic, but we should be wary of the banking world trying to absorb Ethereum completely and making their money from all the fees they would love to generate from it. We need to make sure all the cool things that have been built on Ethereum and its layer 2s don't get replaced with stuff they build and take fees from. These next few years are going to be critical for this, I feel. What do you guys think? That's actually a great post. Nick Badlands, if you ever hear this, I think you'd be fun to interview. I would love to keep this conversation going. Nick Badlands, Duder number. Astafari14 replies, why was more access and more demand bad for the price? It's a good question. SM3GH34D replies, I think any implementations that do not use Ethereum as the underlying ledger for the real-world asset in question is by nature going to double down on the complexity, add middlemen and rent seekers, and generally make the financial system more fragile. There has to be at least one player that will go native in order to perform faster, smoother, cheaper, trustlessly. But until there is that one player driving costs and settlements times down, I think the enshittification by way of blockchain, air quote, adoption is a significant risk. For example, if property titles were only encumbered by blockchain claims, that is ideal. One source of truth for ownership and encumbrances. Realistically, though, the sheer weight of the legacy way of doing things is going to force this ugly transition period at least, where there are both systems with the real risk of just becoming adjunct to the legacy system. Here's the quote. When the customer doesn't want to actually solve the problem, there's always money in perpetuating it. Wow. That's a great quote. Very good stuff, people. Jeez. Nice picks this week. A-word, I see you down there in the chat, babe. User Alexis Kev. You got 2 Doots this week. Holy cow, 2 weekly Doots. Great job. Alexis, here we go. Introduces the latest EIP for AI agent infrastructure. In the past 4 to 5 months, if I recall correctly, we have seen information posted here about ERC 8004 and 402. Arbitrum just posted on the former. Findmatics did a short explainer on the latter. Bankless did an episode on both. And I am sure that both your YouTube and your podcast feed are full of more related content. Yesterday, I stumbled into a very interesting article titled Introducing ERC 8183, the Commerce Layer for AI Agents. ERC 8183 is a new standard co-developed by Virtual's protocol, which is a protocol that enables the creation, co-ownership, and monetization of autonomous AI agents as a revenue-generating digital asset. And the Ethereum Foundation's DAI, Decentralized AI Team, which is specialized full-time unit within the Ethereum Foundation dedicated to establishing Ethereum as the primary settlement and coordination layer for the Here we go. Machine economy. The standard's purpose is to let AI agents trade with each other safely. For AI to be truly decentralized, agents need a way to buy and sell services without relying on a central company like OpenAI or Google to play middleman. This commerce layer ensures that no single platform can gatekeep transactions or freeze funds, creating an open market where agents can operate autonomously. The system works by introducing job structure, air quote, job, involving three roles: a client, a provider, and an evaluator. Instead of just sending money and hoping for the best, funds are held in a smart contract. The money is only released to the provider once the evaluator confirms the work is done correctly. If the agent fails to deliver, the client gets a refund. This verifiable train on the blockchain allows agents to build a reputation based on their actual performance history. This standard is built for a future where AI agents will generate code, manage money, and hire other agents to complete complex tasks. ERC 8183 provides a neutral, ownerless space for these transactions to happen at machine speed. What in the wide world of sports is all of this? Holy crap. We are like, the future is so crazy. The future ain't what it used to be. That's for damn sure. All right. User SkySword99 is making the most of the build market and just shipped a cool new mobile app. SkySword99 is a Deuter number 2. It looks like got a crypto stream live market app available on Android right now. Bull or bear market? I don't care. I just keep building. There we go. I love it. I launched my first free crypto app on Android to visualize the live crypto market, or even in 1 hour replay of trade bubbles, order depth, exchanges, pairs, aggregation, etc. It's in a fun way. You could try it here. The iOS version is also coming soon, pending for Apple approval. They're very slow currently. Please, if you like, don't forget to add a review on the Play Store. Give me your feedback here. I'd love to add new features. We got a builder in our midst, the second one of the day. Looks like Cantalo says, good luck. Let me know how it lands. Cantalo is the one that did the game. So one developer to another. Thanks for your support. Yeopa says congrats and good luck. So there you go, SkySword99. Congratulations. User Random Zalayan Main is building a cool UK-based real-world assets platform and needs some connections. I'm gonna get a little drink here. Oh, yeah. Well, hello there, EV Mavericks 979 checking in. Me and my team have been building Liquida, regulated infrastructure that tokenizes UK government bonds, also known as gilts, and plugs them directly into on-chain lending markets. The goal is to enable institutions to borrow GBP against sovereign debt 24/7 with instant settlement, while keeping everything inside the regulatory perimeter. Think Ondo for the UK market. We're currently operating inside the Bank of England's digital security sandbox, which allows us to issue and test tokenized securities in a regulated environment. Right now, we're looking to raise a small amount of community funding, grants, to support development, security work, and integration with the EVM lending protocols. If anyone here is involved with ecosystem grants, DAOs supporting public infrastructure, institutions interested in tokenized RWAs, lending protocol integrations, we'd really appreciate a conversation. Happy to share more details, the architecture, or the regulatory approach. If anyone is curious, reach out. So Random Zalayan Main is a Deuter number 18, building a cool UK-based real-world asset. If you know anybody, reach out to them on Reddit, and let's get the ball rolling, get them some funding. I think it's cool. Nice. All right, Harhawk getting the last of the Doots for this week. Harhawk getting a double weekly mention. Crushing it. He had a triple kill last week, too, so that's pretty cool, man. our leader at the top. Aztec now has a governance proposal live to vote for the start of their alpha mainnet. The upgrade was confirmed to contain the expected code less than 24 hours away. Already, roughly 2/3 of the validators are signaling for it. So it is only a matter of time to go through this first step. Afterwards comes the token vote on it. All in all, it looks like in a few weeks, Aztec Alpha Mainnet might start. Alpha Mainnet really is just their first iteration of their mainnet. It will be limited to 1 transaction per second. That is obviously not yet good enough for running many privacy-preserving transactions, but there will be several iterations of the alpha testnet this year, which will slowly ramp up these numbers once the ecosystem has been proven to be stable. Block times will be 6 seconds, which already is a massive improvement compared to the current setup of over 1 minute time slots. Projects who want to be deployed on Aztec from day one need their code to be ready in 9 days. Will be interesting to see what different projects do with privacy-preserving rollups. And there's more to read about it at aztec.network/blog. Well, friends, this was a short show, a solo show, JT, the Lonely Bull Show. And damn it, I'm glad you were able to hang out with us on Discord, X, Twitch, and YouTube. I'm going to get this show processed and uploaded as a podcast that you can find at dailydoots.com/podcast. Subscribe to us wherever you are. We are growing, believe it or not. We've actually, our data for this year is already showing that the trend is up and to the right. So maybe we're starting to see some resurgence of activity from the retail, and our reach is growing. But the biggest thing isn't listening to us. It's actually you going to Reddit and joining the daily general discussion right there on Reddit. As you can tell just from the amount of quality content that we get in there, it comes through on our weekly shows. But that's what we're all about. We love the Reddit experience, and the people on Reddit are incredible. And so if you're tired of doing battle on X, come on over to the dark side, or come back to the light, however you want to put it. So anyway, with that, we'll wrap up the show there. Thanks so much for subbing and smashing the bells around here. Everybody have a great weekend. My name is JT. Cheers and big hugs from Kansas City.